Here we have the new 2026 Chevrolet Traverse. Now this one comes in the RS trim level with all-wheel drive. This color is radiant red tint coat. And then we have the jet black with red accent EvoTex interior. The powertrain consists of a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and that's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Absolutely love this spec here. Front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights. I just have the LED running lights on now, but absolutely great looking front fascia here. Just driving down the road, when you see this thing coming, you're like, dang, what is that? Just an absolutely stunning vehicle. And down to these wheels, these are gonna be 22-inch aluminum. Love those, they look great as well. Now, passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. To the door panel here, power door lock controls, memory seat function. We get express down on 3 windows, and then on the driver's side, we get 1 touch up and down. Power mirror controls are here, and we can power fold them right there. Blind spot monitors, and they're heated. Power liftgate controls here. We get a 12-speaker Bose sound system. We can activate our all-wheel drive, toggle the auto stop, go through the drive modes, electronic parking brake, hood release, power tilt telescoping steering wheel. And then here's the power driver's seat. We do get 4-way power lumbar support here. But a huge thank you to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this Traverse today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. Takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But $62,064 is a sticker price. I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so we're gonna see how I fit behind myself in the second row. And pretty great leg room here. Seat back pockets are on both sides. We have rear AC controls here, 3-stage heated outboard seats. You get 2 USB-C charge ports, and then a 123-prong household plug-in right there. Bottle holders. There's a view of the front from back here. Now, this does have the optional panoramic sunroof, $1,500 option, but that's what the sunshade looks like. And as we make our way to the third row, there's a look at that. And then you get a USB-C charge port and a bottle holder on either side. And then LED lights throughout. And then with this having the panoramic roof, the vents are right here on the side, and then we do have LED lights on the side as well. So I like how they were able to do that. Now for the child locks, lock, unlock there. Fuel filler. And then as we come around to the back end, one of the best things about the RS trim, in my opinion, is getting these smoke tail lights. They look absolutely phenomenal. And then we have the quad tip exhaust as well. I think this might still be in transport mode. So have to manually open the lift gate, but it is a power lift gate. And what I do like is we can power release the second row from here, and then we can power fold the third row. And then top tethers are integrated on the back of the seats themselves. I think something's in the way in that third row. That's why I won't fold all the way down, but you can see the difference when the seats are down compared to when they're up. Again, that's power. I apologize for that. Now, since these are power releasing seats, in the lower trim Traverses, you grab this little lever here to get it to tumble, but here you can just hit this button and then pull, and then it gives you easier access to get to the third row that way if you so choose. And then front passenger seat, we also get power with 4-way power lumbar support, and that's a nice touch there. But I love the trim in the RS, especially with this red, how everything matches. It's just the best spec, I think, getting a red Traverse in the RS trim. Then storage underneath here. But as we come back around to the front, quick look in the engine bay. There's that 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Now before we hop in the driver's seat, we're just gonna take a quick look at the turn signals. So I want to point this out because I love when this happens. Whenever the hazards are on, or not the hazards, but whenever you're sitting in the car and something's walking around the vehicle, you get an alert. And it's almost like a good way not to get robbed too. So if you hear that sensor going off, you know somebody's kind of close to the vehicle and you can just throw it and drive off. But love the leather wrap steering wheel here. It has that kind of flat bottom feel to it as well. And then we have the Super Cruise sensor, Super Cruise indicator there. And then 17.7 inch screen here. Google Assistant includes AM, FM, XM radio along with Bluetooth. We get wireless CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility, Google News, of course the Google Maps system. And then your vehicle status here. You can click on the animation if you want to see air filter live, tire pressure monitors, brake pads, all of that. Or you can go into the menus themselves to see all of that. Now for your headlamps, those are in the screen, but you always have a little shortcut here. So you can turn those on, off, set them to auto. Lane keeping system as well. And then down here you have the controls for the 3-stage heated cooled seats as well as the dual zone automatic climate controls. Vehicle settings include teen driver, rear seat reminder, buckle to drive. And then your system settings include being able to change your language as well as your units of measurement there. And then for your camera, you get so many views. There's the back up there. You get a front, overhead, side view, just so many different views there. And the camera quality is really good, I think. Now for the ambient lighting, you do have that, and that will appear specifically when it's dark out. It goes all the way on that line there, and it wraps around the door handle. And it just makes for a really nice view at night, particularly when it's dark. But auto park assist, already went through the settings. That's pretty much it, I think. Your controls include the rear window lockout, automatic high beams, auto park assist. You have those controls there, and then you can get to your universal garage door transmitters there as well. But down here you have a few buttons and knobs. You can control temperature for either side, fan speed. Now if you do want to change the fan direction, you do have to go up here or open that climate menu. I think that's what I didn't open. So that's what the climate menu looks like. But you'll always have these down below, but if you want to get nitty gritty and kind of adjust it very particularly, you can go through the screen itself. Down here, 12 volt USB-C and a USB-A input. Those will actually wire directly to the radio. Wireless charging pads here, bottle holders, and then you have a little center storage tray. But then you also have a traditional center console cubby space with a removable tray there. But there's a look at the back seat from up here. And that's the roof. That's a one-touch slide there. Hit it a second time. Goes almost behind that second row glass. So that's pretty impressive. A very large opening. But those controls, hazards are here, OnStar, rear camera mirror. And then over here, you have that vanity mirror. But back to the steering wheel itself. Left side stock blinkers, wipers, fluid, and then your rear wipers and fluid is right there. And for your shifter, that's gonna be on the column. So hit the brake, pull for neutral, pulling up for reverse, pulling down for drive. and then hit this L here for the low mode. You can use these paddle shifters behind the steering wheel to access that limiter, change the gears there, and then P for park. Behind the steering wheel on the left side, we can toggle track list or radio station presets, and behind on the right side, volume up, volume down. We do get that adaptive cruise, but if you want to put that in a regular cruise, turn the cruise on with this button and then hold this button here, and you can go between adaptive and regular and vice versa. And then when in adaptive, you can adjust the gap adjust for this as well as the forward collision alert. And then you have the speed that you can adjust here. And then your actual Super Cruise is right there. This goes through your audio sources, and then voice recognition, mute, Bluetooth. And then when applicable, you can use this as a scroll bar, heated steering wheel toggle, and then this goes through your gauge faces. So several of those there. Push button start. Finally, here's the key fob with remote start. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2026 Chevy Traverse RS with all-wheel drive out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this 2026 Traverse RS, have it in the two-wheel drive mode now. I think I'm in sport. But in the normal mode, it kind of calms the engine down. It doesn't want to heat up as much. But I'm going to put in the all-wheel drive because this is the all-wheel drive version, and then we're going to do everything that way. Now in the normal drive mode, it still likes to get a tad bit loud. I wouldn't even call it loud, but it gets up there in the RPMs. I want to say the old Traverse had a 9-speed in it, so this shifts a bit more, but I kind of like it that way. I like the sound. It just sounds more aggressive. But I'm going to put it into the sport mode, not going to floor it, just going to give it a little pull. Here we go. So got up to speed very nicely. Let's see if we can get the Super Cruise going. Might have to get over a lane. All right, so there's the adaptive cruise with the lane centering. So love that. Gonna have to get over here. Let's see how it does behind this vehicle in front of me. So it seems like it still stayed activated, which I like. I'm gonna dial the drive mode to normal. But a huge thanks to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this Traverse today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But for this to be on 22-inch wheels, the ride quality is pretty good. You can definitely feel you're on 22s, but I'll take that all day as opposed to having the LT with the 18s if I can afford this sticker. And I don't know if it's the tariffs or whatever, but it's a little over 62 grand MSRP for this. And that's steep. That is steep for a 4-cylinder turbo, not even a full-size SUV. But I mean, this thing is nice. It's very nice. Love having the heated cooled seats, the panoramic roof. I mean, it's loaded out, and especially the all-wheel drive capability as well. But it's just crazy how much things have gone up due to tariffs, COVID, all that put together. But in terms of how it drives, I think a lot of people that are in the market for this will be pleased with this. The Turbo 4 feels good. The 8-speed, I like, again, how it shifts. The overall driving dynamics feel like a smaller SUV, but this is a relatively larger one if you compare it to an Equinox, to a RAV4, to a Rogue. You get all that extra space in something that looks fantastic. And my girlfriend told me, she said, you know, GM or Chevy in particular really knocked it out of the park with all the vehicles that they have redone. So the Equinox, Traverse, and it's the Tahoes, it's showing. I mean, this is probably the best looking GM vehicle out right now, but I'd even go as far as to say the best looking 3-row SUV out right now. I mean, when you see this in the RS trim, it is, especially in this red, my gosh, it's stunning. It really is. And say what you will about the powertrain, the 2.5 turbo, especially having the different drive modes, and with this one having all-wheel drive, it's extremely capable. You get better fuel economy. You have a turbo, which is always fun to drive. But here at Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro, on top of having the factory warranty, you also get their lifetime powertrain warranty on this. So if you do want to get a vehicle from this dealer in particular, you just have another layer of protection if you're concerned about the new 8-speed and the 2.5 turbo 4. You just have to keep up with the maintenance and you're covered for however long you own the vehicle. But final thoughts, I mean, it's over 60 grand now for an RS all-wheel drive. I don't know if that was the case for the 25s, but I like this a lot. And I think if you're in the market for something like this, your wallet won't like it, but I think you'll appreciate it, even if you do pay 62 and some change for a Chevy Traverse. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2026 Traverse RS with all-wheel drive.